Ai, kua hiki ki taku mōhio te haki kākāriki. E ki te mai ana koutou i ngā waka taki rua, taki tahi.
Go Barnsey!
Taki toru an no hoki ki taku mōhio, engari e hanumi ana, e miki ana te wāhi ki ngā taumata rehi kei konei ko te hunga i raro iho i te rua te kaumā toru. Open Women's, Open Men's, Masters Women, Masters Men, Senior Masters Women, Senior Masters Men, me etahi o te Golden Masters anō hoki. Engari mā tō tātou rangatira mā ruka te wehewehenga e whakamārama mai ki a tātou nā te mea e whārawa rehi, e rimarawa rehi kei konei.
E te kāna. And so today, whānau, we got there, the race has just started out there, and we have our OC1 Waka out there, and also our OC2 Waka out there as well. So those are our tāne that are starting this 16k race. Behind them in another 5 minutes we'll have our wahine tour that will start in the Wa'a in our rudderless canoes. So they'll have some mahi out there. But great to see, we saw Tupu in the Wa'a race earlier, race 1. He's out there again for race 2.
With regards to the logistics around the difference between a Wa'a and the OC1, what are the differences there, Matua?
The difference is really having a rudder and not having a rudder. In terms of our ruddered canoe, our OC1s, our outrigger canoe 1s and 2s, as we just come up to some of these pictures, they have the rudders, so you're using your foot pedal to steer, as opposed to our Wa'a, our rudderless canoe. You, as well as paddling, you got a paddle steer as well. So bit of skill in that that's required in paddling our Wa'a, which our wahine tour will do in another few minutes.
Nā, mai I tāku e kite nei, from what I can see, there aren't many waves or swells to assist you with regards to preserving some of your energy in these races. So from my understanding, it comes down to muscle. But is this a preferred style of, or preferred condition for a kaihoi, or not so much?
Yeah, I think, for our race at the moment, the conditions are good, but we like the bump, we like the waves, we like a little bit of rough, especially in terms of paddling our OC1s, because most of those canoes out there, they'll be like between 10 and 14 kg, carbon fibre, nice and light, like to catch those bumps. But yeah, she'll be a bit of work being done out there in terms of their paddle, because being flat, you got to do the mahi.
Kia ora, and even outside of this bay in particular, once we start moving away from the shelter of some of these maunga, how gnarly does the weather get out here?
Yeah, it gets pretty awesome out here. We saw last night, old Tāwhiri Mate was showing up last night, and she was a bit windy out there, and there was some good swells coming into the beach last night. So, but he anō he rangi anō tēnei, flat as.
Ka pai, and with regards to the number of participants, has this been a growth or a decrease in population when it comes to competitors here?
I think given that we haven't had a major Wakaama event in a couple of years, we probably had a good increase in our kaihoi. Previous race, close to 150 kaihoi out there. Looks very similar in the second race as well, so some awesome growth, and he kakana ngā whānau ki te hoi waka I te rangi nei, so ai.
So ignorance would tell me that 3 kaihoi will make a waka go faster, but is that not the weight of 1 times 3? When it comes to a waka, is it a bit heavier to try and propel a waka in the water, or is it better because you have more horsepower in the waka?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit better. As you can see, our young ones here, they got 3 of them paddling the waka, and if you can work together, hoia te mahi nui, kia hoi tahi, kia mahi tahi, I roto I tā rātou waka.
It did make me question my understanding of Wakama calculations, but it has to be someone like Tupu coming second to a third, to a OC3, ne?
Yeah, definitely. And you'll see him just drafting behind that 3-man. He'll probably be sitting on the little bumps that's being created by the 3-man in front of him. So yeah, he'll just utilize that so he can conserve his energy, around the 2 laps that he has to do.
It'd be good to see who can keep up with Tupu first and foremost. Secondly, how well Tupu does on the ruddered waka. Thirdly, how he can keep up, or whether he can draft Why would someone wake up in the morning and tell himself, okay, I'm going to do 2 15K races? What's the thinking process of a pōrangi who would do something like that?
Awa e pātai pai tēnā mā tupuria. Hei, koia tana kai i e nei rā, no reira tēnā pia, a muri ake ka pātai tēnā ki aia. But yeah, you know, you got to do the mahi to be able to do back-to-back races in one day. And I'm sure that he's done the mahi. You know, he's looking really good at the moment, fit and strong. So it'll be awesome to see how he comes out in that race. And just earlier we saw our wahine toa start in the Waka. So they're just behind our tāne as we see our pictures.
It's also said that if someone is going to do that, going to put 2 15K races into one day, it's in preparation for a longer race. Let it be a super aito or an aito on another long distance race, or a ngaki mate, or to seek a vengeance. Say, if also take the theme of that second kaupapa, it'll be the Casey Ngātaki wanted to beat Tupu in that second race, but unfortunately he's not here. So for Tupu is to compete against himself, ne?
Yeah.
This the test is where push those horizons of how far he can push his body, tinana. And the beauty of this hakina kina neha matua around, not only can you pedal for yourself, but you can pedal for your club, you can pedal with your tamariki, and you're probably one who's been fortunate to have that before with your tamariki.
Tikana, yeah. You can't beat that, eh? My father-in-law, Papa Wallace Poor, 73, and still paddling, and we love paddling with him. But just as we see here, you mentioned our papa and son combination there, Papa Māori and Tere, sitting in the back there as they take on this course, catching those bumps of those wake off that those boats. So these young guns, the 19s, they'll do one round. They got the 8 to 10K race, so they'll be gunning for it because, you know, they'll do one round and that's them over and done with.
Now, when it comes to racing Waka, you have your extremely long races that you break it down into 3 or so days, and these are those Tahiti or Hawaii races. Then you have your long races, and that's a day race, and then you bring it down to your 500 or 250 at a nationals. So our long distance, you've seen just based on this broadcast that we've been able to put 2 races in today, and in these races they're broken up into different sections, not only in age but in distance as well, based on your age group, and even Waka. So we've spoken about the whole rudder concept, and that's how you navigate your Waka, or you propel your Waka in the water. If you press with your left foot, your Waka will go left. Press with your right foot, your Waka will go right. But when it comes to a rudderless Waka, you have to do the whole steering and paddling at the same time. But in these 2-mans, ruddered again, and in the 3-mans, I think the third paddler is the steerer. Right. So there's a lot of science behind all of this. It's not purely just paddling and trying to maintain your pace. And even on top of that, you have a fast pace for your 500 and 250 meters, and a longer and a slower pace when it comes to these long distances. But based on what we saw in the first race and this race, these paces are still reasonably close to a sprint style rhythm. Tell you, ka tere ngenge te tangata. So it also tells you that they are absolutely fit and conditioned for this kaupapa. And what really are some of the finer scientific preparations that you know of, Matua, when it comes to a long distance?
Yeah, ai tikana. So they probably, in terms of this race, they have 16Ks, you know, and they'll want to punch it out for at least 2 or 3Ks, just to get settled, get their bodies right for that hoi, and then they'll just want to settle in.
Pretty cruisy for her so far. Second place is Ann Ken. She's still maybe 500 metres back.
Well, I haven't raced in probably 2 years, so I just thought I'd go out and treat it like a training, pretty much. I felt good. It was pretty easy. I was a bit concerned about all the turns, being I was in the rudderless, but nobody was in my way, so that made it easy too.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do something when you've got sort of no one that you know of in front of you, so yeah, the men were my target.
Just to try and work what little bump there was. Like, it didn't look like she was maybe chasing stuff.
Yeah.
She had a pretty steady stroke rate on, whereas I thought I'll just try and work whatever bumps I can and just use the water to help me catch up to her. And then once I caught up to her, just try and put a bit of a burst on and get away, and then just keep working everything all the way back. So, yeah, I'm starting to learn how to paddle these.
Hiana kia koutou, a koutou ko hono mai, ko hakarongo mai ki tēnei o ngā pāpāho, anō reire mihiana, e mihiana, e mihiana.